Uh,
but they
Very
have
interesting.
not that big influence anymore, and they are now not directly in connection with your elite because
Uh,
they have understood that they cannot come closer to their goal through doing this, and therefore also this, you say, when I took people to do medical medical experiments, there's not
yes.
longer either going on now.
Understood. So, what about
Mm.
Zachariah Sitchin? He spoke of the Anunnaki. Are you familiar with the Anunnaki?
We are familiar with the expression, yes.
And who is or the Anunnaki? And I'll just let you tell me as opposed to what's been said about them, because they're woven into this entire story as well.
If all of us coming from one source, is that not so then that we all are Anunnaki? If it's true, then some of us have a negative energy that we have to release. And that's what you, Lars, and many else on this planet is helping with now, to have people to release their fear, because fear is the biggest issue that you have to deal with.
Very interesting. And so, Anunnaki, what does Anunnaki mean? Do you know what that word means?
The word has different meaning in past time. Anunnaki was said to be a superior race that tried to influence your society in ancient time and also in this time. But we can say that it has no impact on your humanity society anymore.
So, is it true then that they have manipulated our DNA and helped lower our vibration? Or it's in a sense enslaving us into this third dimensional expression?
It has been some big wars going on, not in, only in the solar system, but in entire galaxy. But this is not now so anymore, and the many have tried to come here and interfere with your humans because they come as gods, as they said they are gods, but they were just trying to get the power over you. But the war also bring a lot of your knowledge and a lot of your energy to a denser, more denser energy, as all negative thoughts, feelings will do. It always lowers the vibration with wars and conflicts because it's contrary the, the purpose you are here for. You are here for bring love, to spread love, because that's the energy that is forever living. Everything else is in vain.
Understood. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have cleared up so much. And There are many people who watch these videos, and I'm sure a lot of people will probably have their mouths open going, oh my goodness, because even some of the people I'm so like, I won't start naming any more names than the names that I've named already with some of the things that they're saying. How are they? I mean, that means if so many people are presenting this information in this way, are they all in cahoots?
No, but they are influenced by certain entities on your own planet. Your own people influence them, and in this timeline, when you have this possibility to communicate over vast distance, it's spreading very fast, and every person that has fear in them will be perceptive to these energies. That's
Uh,
why we so often point out that it's so necessary to let go of your fears. They are controlling so much of your ascension and your development, and that's not so good for you.
Understood. So when you say entity, that means
It's
people.
energy on your own planets that try to fight every change that is going on, but it's your own people. It's nothing from outside, it's from
uh,
inside.
because you refer to Lars and I as entities, and so I understand that.
We
Uh,
all are entities or frequencies.
Absolutely. Very, very good then. So my next question was about uh, the avian you spoke of before. What do you know of the law of one? It was channeled, I believe, in the 80s. I may be incorrect, but it was the law of one. And the entity that came through, they always said, I am Ra. They were, and now the Corey Good and David Wilcock, or Corey is speaking, or David always speaks about the law of one, and Corey is saying that one of the blue entities who's having communication with him that he's met in person physically. Uh, he says his name is theyre. Is that the what? Like I said, I'm sorry. What do you know of the law of one? And is that the same Ra as
The,
from the law of
the,
one?
the law of one is the only law that is important, and that is unconditional love, nothing else.
And do no harm.
Yes, exactly. And the blue entities you're talking about is not the same as the blue perceptive of entities that are here overseeing the progress going on this planet and your whole solar system.
Okay, so let me just be clear to make sure no one is confused. They're the blue entities that are bird-like. They are calling them the avian, and then there's another entities there that are spheres. Now they don't have a name for themselves, but the according to Corey Good and what have you, is they're called the Spear Being Alliance, or they're spear beings, those big blue orbs that came into our solar system, which are supposedly overseeing like everything that you absolutely said earlier. So there's two different entities, one the blue avian and the other the blue spheres, which are energy entities, of course, as we all are, but that's how they present themselves. And well, I've been told that they can present themselves in any way that they desire. Can you distinguish, is that what you mean, distinguishing that they're not the same, or are you speaking of something else?
We are so much amused about this need for you to put name and label of everything.
Well, that's just a part of our being human, but this
We
is
are so much aware of that, so I will try to help you distinguish with this different. It's
thank you.
just different frequencies influencing you. The blue orbs, or what you call them, is the energy of communication. Blue is the color of communication.
Yes,
And
understood.
then they come in to help you to make your voice heard, to make your what you're sending out to be perceived by so many as possible. The avians, you call them, is a high frequency vibration that are not in direct contact with any of you in this moment. They are there to just look and control what's going on, so nothing is going in the wrong direction. Because
So, how are we familiar, or even if they're not having connections with anyone, how do we know that they're there? How would we even know that they were
you
there?
are in connection with them all the time, but not in your reality.
Ah, very good.
Yes. So they are communicating with you, but not in some kind of body form or anything like that, because they have no body. They are pure, pure love and energy. But we don't have name of them, but you have names on them.
Do you recognize that there are many people who are saying that they're channeling them and that they're giving them information?
That is possible to do, of course. If they want to communicate with you, they do so very easily. But we can't see that they would communicate these messages that your people put out, because there are still a lot of fear in that messaging, and that is not what they are supposed to be. They are not doing that. They
Understood.
are directly from this source. They are a very, very, very old energy, the originating from the start of everything.
Understood.
And the
So
start of everything is going on every day.
we're being told by Corey Good that the spheres have literally manifested in his home and literally transported him from here to the moon and to they call it the LOC, the Lunar Operations Command Center, and where he's had meetings where he said that the uh, avian and they were bird-like blue entities who called themselves Ra theyre and was communicating in what you councils, making all these decisions about what's going on the planet. Is there any validity in that now that where they physically have taken his body from here and manifested him or transported him within the spheres to the moon?
We will not elaborate on that so much now, but we can say that this man has for certain been in the military.
Okay, so I mean, because of everything you've said thus far, uh, and I understand when you say you can't elaborate on it, but can you say if it's true or if it's not true? Because that's basically the foundation of everything this communication that we've had thus far. All of the information that I'm speaking about, or majority of it, is coming from this gentleman, Corey Good, and he is literally online on a online television station with the gentleman David Wilcock, and they're presenting that scenario in the program called Cosmic Disclosure to the Planet. Someone has to know if that is real or not because it's influencing a lot of people. It, whatever you can, whatever
We,
you may.
we can tell you this, that this is nothing that is going on now. No.
Oh, thank you.
We will not say if it's true or if it's not true. It's nothing that's going on now. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. There was actually no worry because they're presenting themselves as the good guys. And so, it's giving a lot of people hope, but I guess it could be false hope and to be so let down, you know.
Can anything that is hiding, either on the moon or Mars or any other planet, can anything good come out of a hiding? We don't think so. So why should they do that? Instead of straight communication, because there are not people that are selected for this kind of light being work. There are people that self took that upon them, and when they took that upon them, they are aware of that it is the message of love we need to spread.
Well, that's what he's saying. That's what he says his message is a message of love. It's just that, there are a lot of people who have asked, why only you and why? But he did, and David asked him that, that they were speaking to people all over the planet. I know me personally, I spoke about a dream that I had where there was this person who had this like crown on their head, and when I look back at these pictures that I drawn, it looked just like the uh, the avian being that connected with me. And in a session that I had done before, I'm not sure if it was you who told me that that was the avian that was communicating with me. Do you remember, or can
Yes,
you,
they do communicate with you.
with me, Hank?
Yeah, with you, Entity Hank,
Oh, very
very
good.
often. But can you, in the same sentence, say that you're doing this for everyone's good, and in the same sentence say they have this technology for disrupting you? We don't think it's resonate. It can't be true that you can be good sometime or the same time that you do something bad.
I know that my intentions are pure.
Sure, but we are talking about this other man
Understood.
that in one sentence say that they try to control you, and in the same sentence say, oh, they all love you. So it's so contradictory.
Well, he's saying that they're calling avians and they're calling the spheres. They're calling them an alliance, and they're saying they're the good guys, and then they're saying that the Dracos and the Greys and the Mantis are the bad guys, and that they're stopping them and helping with the planet. They say that the spheres came into the solar system earlier in the 1980s, and they've increased how many have arrived in order to help with the energy that's coming off of the sun, because we're traveling through a high vibrational, I say, Oort cloud, or gamma ray, I'm
You're
sorry.
surrounded with that energy around your planet all the time. But the blue energy you're talking about is there to make you aware of what you communicate and how you communicate, and they are there to help you do this in the right way.
Understood.
So be aware of what you put out and how you put it out. And that's a fact for all of you human beings on this planet.
I'm trying my best to put out as pure as information as I possibly can as I receive it. And that's why I'm asking these questions right now, because when I go and I listen to that, something I feel like I said, there's truth mixed with lies. Yes, there are the avians. Yes, there are, and I know those are the names that we've given them, but you already understand that's how we on in physical bodies have to communicate. We have left, right, up, down. We're in a dualistic state, so we have to put an adjective or a description on it to make a reference. It's for references purposes only, but they say that in one in sentence describing them, and then they use the others to say they're the opposition.
So why should they miscredit anyone else trying to do a work that is good for you all? That is not a good message.
Well, I know when I listen to that and they say, oh, they have the voice of God technology, that's as soon as what makes me think, okay, something about that I'm not resonating with. And so that's why we're here and we're asking you, and you've given us amazing information. And I foresee this being very controversial, but my desire has always been, and I've stated from the very beginning, is that if anything that we could do in these sessions would help the planet Earth in this process that we're going through, that is what my intentions are, and they are pure. And there's no one with a gun to my head, and I don't believe that there is like you said, technology that's making me say what I'm saying and presenting myself the way that I'm saying it as well. So
No.
thank you, thank you,
And
thank you.
we are not pleased with this still going on, that you evaluate different person or personality in a different level. There's no one better or worse than another one. You are all the same, from the same source, with the same knowledge. So why can anyone say they are the God, they are the leader? That's not true. But in your linear time, you have been told this for so many years, that if you just have a lot of money, you're more worth than the man that is starving. Why is that so?
Maya, have you ever been physically manifest on the planet Earth before?
I have been visiting planet Earth many, many times, but not
Have
physically manifested, no.
You've never taken incarnation? Have you taken incarnation on a planet with a vibration that has the same way that the vibration is on the planet Earth, though?
Yes.
Okay, and so when you ask why, I think as soon as you're here on the planet and you see what it sort of, it's a very, like, it's a very challenging place,
I
and
put
that
it
it's
in that term
okay.
as a
Very
question, just for you to resonate with that question. Why do we do this? We are much aware of why you are doing this. You have been taught this for so many years, and even before, many of you were enslaved and you was owned by others. This is so very wrong. This is so very, very wrong, because you are all valuable and you are all needed. So this dividing in different classes is so much negative that you do the most harm to yourself. No entity at all can do the same harm that you have done to yourself through all these years.
because we have free will. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And is it not true that everyone that is on the planet knew before they physically manifest on the planet that they would go through the challenges that are here on the earth?
Yes, but even when they are born here on this planet, they still have the free will to decide yes or no. And now so many more of you saying no to that negative things going on, and you must be aware of this. That
Yes.
there's an uprising, and not only in frequency, but in values and in how you perceive the surroundings around you. Many more people appreciate the beauty and the uniqueness of your planet's nature. And you must be aware that your planet are very unique when it's come to this natural beauty. There's not many of them out there in the universe. So take care of it with all your best intent, all your best love you have. And so should you with each other.
Absolutely, and that's understood, and that is the message. This is why we connect with you. You are Myra, from the Orion Council. Is this correct?
We are talking from the 11th dimension now,
The
yes.
11th dimension. Okay, very good. And the reason why I restated that, you may already know, is because this particular video, I don't know if you noticed, I stumbled and I caught part of it, and then the recording stopped and I started over. I just like to get um, a thorough session so everyone understands whom we're communicating with. We always are going to ask, well, temporarily, for now, people are asking, who are they? What are their names? Why are they here? How long have they been? You already know this about us, and so instead of people asking me, I like to ask, even if I already know. It just helps with consistency. That's all.
And very soon, more and more of you will say that I already know. And that's a good thing.
Very good. I had a gentleman just recently have a session with me, and it was very, very interesting. And he ended up getting upset in a sense because he said, I already knew all of this and I didn't need to go and have the session. And I said, well, I didn't look you up to make you do it. You looked me up, and I won't even go into details or what have you, but you're absolutely correct. People are saying that you know, they're
Yeah, but you
making
don't need to put
mistakes.
it out in a negative way. You can
Oh, no, no,
say,
no.
I have the knowledge. And if you manifest that for yourself, then it will be clearer for you. But you don't need to use it to suppress anyone else.
Oh, yeah. Well, well, you already know. I ask the questions and you guys give the answers. So I don't think, I mean, I know, I guess you're not talking about me per se, but I'm just saying, that's my always saving grace. I ask the question, and whatever the person whatever information they're allowed to get for wherever they're ready to receive, that's what comes forward. I'm just really happy that you're able to give myself and Lars this information. And I know and you know that it's helping lots of people, and we are very appreciative.
That's
How is
why we're
Lars?
doing this with you, because you're doing a great job with putting our messages and your already knowledge out there again to reveal for you what is important. You all wanted to be in another state, but you're also afraid of it because you are unaware of what it means to be there. But you have that knowledge, but you have not. You have forgot how to connect to that knowledge. And that's one of the things you're going through when you reincarnate on this planet. You are wiped clean, even though you have that knowledge if you connect with your higher self.
Understood. Another thing that's being said is that I've just been hearing this term lately, is that our planet is going to sneeze. I'm sorry, not our planet, but the sun that we're orbiting around is going to sneeze. That's the adjective that they're using, and that when it does, it's going to change the our vibration from this third density or third dimensional into the fifth dimension, where we will come into full consciousness. And we've discussed that before, but can you elaborate on that particular process, please?
That was amusing allergy to say that the sun is sneezing.
It's
That's
going to
amusing.
sneeze. Yes, it's going to
No,
sneeze, and we're going to be like,
yeah, but it's not that. It's not going to happen. The sun is also higher the vibration, but it's not allergic against vibration. But
oh,
the energy rising